guys, welcome back to another video. Going to be fishing Hamble Point to the right hand side of the gun, hoping for a flounder, probably pick up the odd bass maybe. It's a really bright day and it is absolutely flat calm down here. You could probably see in the background. So yeah, I'm going to get set up. I'll get a bait out and I'll talk about what I'm going to be using, the bait I'm using and how I'll be fishing. All right, cheers guys. All right then guys, I'm just going to run through what I'm using on that rod. I've already got a bait out there. I'm going to be using exactly the same on this rod. Well, actually it's not the same. This is a 3-hook clip down. If you minus out the top hook, it's exactly the same as what I've got on there. Going to be using ragworm for the flounders and the bass, hopefully. It's been really slow on the flounders this year, so with any luck I managed to pick one up for you. But yeah, so what I'll do is, I've not picked up a lot of ragworm today. I've got this fresh from a tackle shop near me, Bill's Bait and Tackle down in Woolston in Southampton. Lovely fresh worm. So what I'll do on the bottom hook, I usually stick to putting my bigger baits on the bottom hook so then they're pinned to the seabed, but because I'm targeting flounders, what I'll do is on the bottom hook I'll hook a ragworm like this. You just thread it round and I'll pop that over the eye of the hook, leave a bit of a tail there loose. Then I'll get another worm, a smaller worm, like something like that, perfect size, and I'll just nip that on the end with a little bit of the tail loose still. I usually go in just behind the head. Don't know if you can see that there. Go in just behind the head, and then just again thread it round, pop it over the eye of the hook, and then leave that loose. So that there, you've got loads of movement now, as you can probably well see. There's 2 tails there. Because I'm clipping it down, hopefully it won't break up too much. So that's the bottom hook. And like I say, I've got exactly the same out there already. As I turn up, there's a couple of guys that were fishing up to high tide. It's around high tide now, on the push up to the second tide, because we get 2 tides here. But they said that they've not had anything at all, so I'm starting to think maybe it was a mistake to come here. Maybe I should have tried somewhere else, maybe up the river on the mud flats. I mean, there are mud flats here, so fingers crossed I will manage to pick up a flounder or the odd bass. And then on the second hook, I'm going to do it different to what I've just done. So on the one that I've just got out, I had the flounder bait on the bottom hook, as I just showed you, with quite a bit of a tail left there for a bit of movement. And then on the second hook, I've just put a single worm on like that for any bass or anything. But because this is a 3-hook rig, and I'm going to keep the rod tops quite low, so the first and second bait should hopefully be fishing close to the seabed. So the bottom bait will be on the seabed, and the second hook sort of just getting picked up by the current, just floating above the seabed. and that's what I'm going to do with this one. I'm debating whether to leave the top hook as it is, but I'll tell you what, I'm going to put a bait on there anyway. I'm just going to put a single worm on there, so just in case the flounders are actually not feeding as much as I'd like them to, they might take just one single worm. I only picked up a 5's worth of rag today, because I'm only going to be here for a few hours. So yeah, like I say, targeting flounders. Hopefully I'll be able to pick one up, with any luck anyway. So yeah, on the top hook of the 3-hook clipped rig, just going to put a single ragworm on like that, hopefully pick up any bass. So I'll get this one out there and I'll bring you back, and hopefully I'll have a fish for you. Right guys, I'll bring you back for an update. Not much has been happening, it's quite slow. That's expected. I'm at the second tide now, and well, I've just brought in my 2-hook loop rig, and as you can see the hooks are totally bare. So either there's crabs out there or the fish are just being really finicky and pecking the baits off. The bottom hook had a bit of rag left on it, but the top hook was absolutely bare. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use one ragworm, large ragworm, bottom hook, again, just in behind the head. So I'll nick it in there, behind the head, and then just thread that round. It's always better having really sharp hooks. It makes it so much easier for baiting up. Especially with this rag where it's so fresh. It must have been dug this morning when I picked it up. So I'm going to scale it down. Instead of using, say, 2 worms with a bit of a tail hanging off and another one at the bottom, just going to scale it down and just go down to using 1 worm, obviously with the tail hanging still, so there's a bit of movement in the water, and that's it. So I'm gonna leave that one out there because there's 3 hooks on that. I've done exactly the same on the bottom hooks as I've shown you, but this one I'm going to use a bigger worm on the bottom, and then on the second hook, which will be fishing just above the seabed, I'm going to nick just a smaller bit of worm on there. Like I say, they must be so fresh because they're still really slimy. When they've been in the shop or after they've been dug for a while and left in the fridge in whatever the tackle shops use, they tend to be a little easier to bait up. They're not as slimy, and they're either in vermiculite or like this brown blacky sort of earth stuff. I'm not too sure what it is. So yeah, the top hook, I'm just going to put a little bit of rag on there. As I said, I prefer to use a bigger bait on the bottom and then a smaller bait on the top. But yeah, I'll leave that other rod fishing. This one I've just brought in, so I'm going to rebait. I'll punch it back out. I've bought another rod with me, which I might swap over in a minute and start using that one and have a few practice casts with one of the other rods. Because I've only sort of just started to do pendulum casting, it's always best to keep on top of it and practice, and obviously over time you'll get more used to it and you'll start to hit further distances. For venues like this, it's quite shallow, sort of mud flats and shingle in between. So yeah, the extra distance always helps, especially on shallower venues. In deeper marks, you might get away with just a 50 odd 60 yard lob, and sometimes that might fish better than casting 60, 70, 80 yards plus. You might be casting over the fish at that point. So yeah, I've got this one baited up. I'll get it out there and I'll be back in a second. Well guys, bring you back for an update. It is, as you can see, the tide's starting to drop now. I was hoping that this is the sort of time when I'd pick up anything. At the moment I'm fishing for anything. Obviously being daylight still, you're not going to get the whiting. You might get the odd one, but I mean, the flounders are elusive at the moment. Even schoolies, there's nothing there. I've got a handful of worm left, so I'm going to have another 4 or 5 casts. So I'll be here for another hour or so, and like I say, as you can see, the tide's starting to drop off now. So with any luck, as the fish are moving out to deeper water, I might pick up something. At the moment, anything will save a blank, which is what I'm trying for. As you can see, I've got a third rod in the middle. That is a Daiwa Moonraker, a really old school rod that I was fortunate enough to get given by a guy that I used to work with. I've just got a cheap old reel on there. But yeah, at the moment it is quiet, really quiet. It's really hard going. The sun's starting to drop now. It is absolutely gorgeous. I'll swing it round. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. It is lovely down here. Absolutely flat calm. Sun's beaming. It was as I said, it was really warm down here earlier on, as I was setting up and everything. But unfortunately, I won't be able to fish into darkness because I've got things that I need to get on with at home. Going to start editing this video tonight. Today being Friday. But yeah, it's a shame really. It's really slow fishing. So, like I say, with that tide starting to run off now, fingers crossed I might pick something up for the camera. So, left to right, I've got a 2-hook loop rig, and then in the middle I've just got a 2-hook flapper, really short 2-hook flapper. I think the rig body is about, I don't know what, it's probably about the same size as my match measure, so about 50 centimetres. Hook lengths are quite short as well, so it is pinned solid to the seabed. And then on the right hand rod, I've still got the 3-hook rig out. So I've brought that in and baited back up. There's nothing there. Everything's been picked off, so I'm thinking there's quite a few crabs out there, which is odd. Might be, might not, I'm not too sure. But yeah, just thought I'd put the third rod out. I'm at the moment, like I say, scratching for anything just to save the blank. I'm sure we've all been there. So yeah, the 2 outside rods, the Ziplexes, I've put one as far as I can hit it, that being the left hand rod. The right hand rod I've dropped a bit closer, and then the middle rod I've put, I don't know, about 30 yards out, if that, with a 4-ounce lead on, so it'll roll in the tide, hopefully bit of movement will trigger the flounders into taking it, or bass, whatever's there. So yeah, I thought I'd let you know. And next time I come back, hopefully it'll be with a fish. If not, it'll be an outro, the end of the session. Like I say, we're on the run off now, so I'll give it another hour and a half, just as the sun's dropping. And yeah, if not, I'll catch you in the next one. Tight lines and keep safe, guys. Right, guys, so decided to call it an end. Unfortunately, it's a blank. As you can see, that's what I was fishing on, sort of mud flats, the odd bit of structure. Well, I wouldn't even really say structure, it's more of a shingle mud sort of area. Over that way, I don't know if you can see it there, I'll spin the camera around. So there's a bit of a bay there, and further on beyond the rocks over there is the mouth of the river Hamble. Where those trees are is Warsash, and that shingle bank that you can see is what's known as the Hamble Spit. So I was fishing in this area here. It's been a really nice evening, to say the least. Shame it's a blank, but it's good to be out. But yeah, up there, the other side of that jetty is Enzyme, where my last session was. Unfortunately, the flounder weren't around to play ball, but to say the least, it was a really good session. So yeah, I'm all wrapped up, ready to go home. I'm going to edit this video maybe tonight or tomorrow evening, ready for Sunday. Let me know in the comments below what you want to see next. I'm going to do another rig tying video, as I said in the last video, of how I tie my 2-hook loop rig. This might be better. So yeah, let me know in the comments below what you want to see, what you want me to target. That'll be a good one. Let me know what you want me to target and I will do it. I'll try my best anyway. Fingers crossed I will hit it. Please like, subscribe, share with your social medias, hit the bell icon so you know exactly when I upload. But from me, tight lines, keep safe, and I'll see you in the next one.